we have learned about simple machines in my earlier class. Today we will learn from the first part of simple machine, or we will consider this one as the first part, and that first part is your levers. Now remember the spelling, don't miss out the spelling, okay? Otherwise the total class will be something different. So the lever spelling Levers, and by levers we always come to one picture in our mind, that is of this kind, where load is being given at one part and there is a plank. This is your plank, this is your fulcrum where this one is residing, and at any one part the load is being given. This is your load over here. So lever, any straight bar or bent capable of turning about a fixed axis is called a lever. This fixed axis is nothing but your fulcrum. A lever has three components: fulcrum, load and effort. And out of these three components, like I've said, fulcrum, load and effort, there comes the other concepts of load arm and effort arm. So as a whole, a lever is composed of lever, fulcrum, effort, or effort, fulcrum, lever, and the load arm is that arm which connects, or there is a length between the load, that means the point, load point, and the fulcrum point. Similarly, effort arm is the distance or the length between the fulcrum point and the effort point. So that is your effort arm. So L for load, F for fulcrum, E for effort. So next, principle of levers. Now principle of levers says that clockwise moment of effort about the fulcrum is equal to anti-clockwise moment of load about the fulcrum. Now you need to remember that I have written clockwise moment for effort. That means I have taken this effort on the right hand side. Anti-clockwise moment of the load from fulcrum. Anti-clockwise, that means I have taken the load on the left hand side. So the relation, now we will go for the relation between these. We'll have the relation between mechanical advantage, load arm and effort arm. Now from here only we are coming to point that effort into effort arm, that moment, I think you have already studied about moments, where moment is what? Is the product of force. Here effort, we have already discussed this one in my earlier video for machines. Effort into effort arm, that is the perpendicular distance of the effort, of the line of the effort applied to the fulcrum point or the axis of rotation. Similarly, load into load arm. If I go for the abbreviations part now, E into EA, I have neglected those points or the over here to make it much easier for you to understand. So even in ICSE also you can write in the same way, there is no issue. E into EA equal to L into LA. So you are getting, if I do this cross multiplication and if I arrange it in such a way, that we will get this one EA by LA and this one L by E. Now mechanical advantage, as we have discussed in earlier videos also for simple machine, mechanical advantage equal to load by effort, and here we are getting another point for levers, especially effort arm by load arm. Now types of lever. Now the types of lever, when we talk about types of lever, we come across class 1 lever, which is this one, the basic one, where fulcrum is in the middle, load is on the left hand side. I have considered left hand side, so load is with anti-clockwise moment, gives the anti-clockwise moment, and effort I have taken on the right hand side, which gives you the clockwise moment. If you shift this effort and load on both the sides, means if you interchange their places between effort to load and effort, it's simple. The clockwise and anti-clockwise, those terms you need to keep it in your mind, so that you don't miss out in writing a clockwise moment and anti-clockwise moments. For in this case, load gives you the anti-clockwise moment. That means if I give a load over here, this will try to rotate in an anti-clockwise moment, while effort, which I have given on the right hand side, it will give a clockwise moment. That means it will try to rotate from in the clockwise direction. So this is your class 1 lever. So now let us analyze this class 1 lever now. Now class 1 lever, what we understand, that in this case the effort arm can be equal to or greater than or less than the load arm. That means this effort arm can be more than equal to or less than the load arm. It's very simple. If I shift this fulcrum at the middle, then effort arm will be equal to load arm. If I shift this fulcrum towards the load, then effort arm will be more, that means load arm becomes less. If I shift this fulcrum towards the effort, that means the effort arm will get reduced and load arm will be more. So there are three possibilities over here: effort arm equal to or greater than or less than the load arm. So these are the three possibilities for class 1 lever. All the possibilities are valid. Now then comes, if these are the cases, then mechanical advantage and velocity ratio all will be in the same way, equal to, more than or smaller than 1. If you go through the equations of mechanical advantage and velocity ratio, you will find these will tally with these things. That means these will all be equal to, more than or less than 1. Now that means we have also given this formula how we are getting mechanical advantage load by effort, EA by LA. Even for velocity also you will get DE by DL, where you will find these things are valid. Now that means that class 1 lever, I can, for an ideal class 1 lever, will have, it may be a force multiplier or gain in speed. Understood? So if you go through the earlier video, I'm repeatedly telling this one, then only these force, what is force multiplier or what is gain in speed, how gain in speed occurs, these all will be clear to you. Please try to visit and view video 1 for machines. Then comes next, that is class 2 lever. In class 2 lever, if I see, the mid portion is occupied by load and the fulcrum goes to one end. So that's the difference. In class 1, what happened? The fulcrum was in the middle. Now in class 2, the load occupies the mid position, or not the mid position, it's actually the position between fulcrum and the effort. You can, it's much more better if you write that it is between fulcrum and effort. This can be at the mid position also, it can be near to the load also, it can be near to the effort also, that load point. So here what we get, if you see the diagram only, in whatever position you move this load or the effort, you will always find that effort arm in this case is always more than the load arm. That means there is only one condition, because you cannot move fulcrum. Fulcrum is fixed. That is a fixed point of rotation or axis. Understood? So fulcrum remains the same at the same position. So here there is a change of the load point or maybe the effort point, whatever may be the case, you will always find that effort arm is always more than the load arm. Now in this arrangement, you need to always remember that load will remain in between fulcrum and effort. In any other, wherever you put the effort, it should not happen that the effort comes in between load and fulcrum. It shouldn't happen. In second class lever or class 2 lever, load remains in between effort and fulcrum. So now let's diagnose. We'll get always effort arm is more than load arm, what I said just now. And if it is so, then mechanical advantage and velocity ratio also varies with the same. So in this case, class 2 lever always acts as force multiplier. Since mechanical advantage is more than 1, it always acts as force multiplier, while class 1 lever, since there are three possibilities, are there equal to, less than or more than, so it is maybe a force multiplier, maybe a gain in speed also, or maybe an ideal machine. But in class 2, it is always a force multiplier. So let's go to the third or the class 3 lever. In class 3 lever, what happens? The arrangement is very simple. Here the fulcrum remains the same as class 2 lever at the one corner, and effort remains in between. Effort remains in between the load and the fulcrum. So the arrangement is very clear. In this case, you will find the load arm is always more than the effort arm. If you see here the load arm, this is the load arm and this is your effort arm. So it is very clear that load arm is much greater than effort arm. Now if you reduce this, if you take this load point to this point also, this point, no issue. But you cannot take this load point in between effort and fulcrum, then it will get converted to what? If I take this load point in between effort point and fulcrum, then this lever will get converted to class 2 lever. So our intention is not to convert it to any other class, but in class 3 lever only we'll diagnose what happens to this. That means effort will always remain at the middle for class 3 lever. So here, whatever the conditions, if you move this effort point towards fulcrum or away from the fulcrum in any way, load arm will always be more than the effort arm. That means I have written in the different reverse way. I have written effort arm is less than load arm. Effort arm is less than load arm. So if you see this equation, you will find effort arm is less than load arm. So it's obvious that mechanical advantage is less than 1 as well as velocity ratio as well. So so this is the case, and then what type of we can say whether it's a force multiplier, ideal, or gain in speed. What we can say? What we can say if mechanical advantage is less than 1? It is your gain in speed. Understood? So class 3 lever acts as a gain in speed. So there are 3 classes of lever: class 1 ideal or force multiplier or gain in speed; class 2 where it acts as only force multiplier; so class 3 gain in speed. So there are a lot of questions which comes like this in ICSE and in class 10 for other boards as well, that why class 2 lever is always or always acts as a force multiplier. Then you need to say effort arm is more than your load arm. So the mechanical advantage is more than 1, so it acts as a force multiplier. Similarly, in class 3 lever, they may ask you why it is not a force multiplier, or why it only acts as gain in speed. Then there also you need to tell the same thing, that load arm here, in this case the load arm is more than the effort arm, so mechanical advantage is less than 1, and so the reason is then the reason is validated that class 3 lever is gain in speed, is basically a gain in speed machine. And say what are the examples of these levers? Examples of these levers you need to know. Examples of these levers, that also I need to say, or you need to do it yourself. Okay, so you need to do it yourself. Thank you for watching. So I hope you have this video was helpful for you. So subscribe and view the channel. Thank you to all of you.